How's everybody doing? My name is Kurt Friedrich. I'm the owner and driver for CFRacing, and this is our post-race video for our second race of the 2023 season, which we raced out at Albemarle Speedway. But first, before we get started, I want to thank our sponsors, Kristin Murphy with Mission Realty, which is brokered by EXP. Kristin Murphy, she was a real estate agent that helped us find a place when we moved up here into Hopewell, Petersburg area. So if anybody's needing help with their real estate needs, buying or selling a home, I recommend reaching out to her. She's a big help to us, and I know she'd be a big help with you guys with your real estate needs. And I'll put her email address and her website in the description below. So just reach out to her with any questions that you may have, and she'll be more than happy to help you out with your real estate needs. Also want to thank Tivy Gyms for their continued support. Tivy Gyms is an online sales website. They sell cheap gemstones and settings for people who want to do their own projects with their own jewelry at home. So it's just a good way to make some cheap products for your do-it-yourselfers at home. So with the commercial out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about this weekend. So I got a few notes here out at Albemarle Speedway. First off, it was hot. It was really hot. I started sweating from the minute I got out of the truck at the track to the minute I got in the truck to leave. They did open the gates an hour late because of the heat. So they were going to start the race an hour later, and the track still didn't have any rain from the previous week. They wet it down, but the track was sealed and the water just sat on top of the track. So we were waiting for it to dry. And then some of the craziest things I've seen, we waited another, I think, an hour later to start. Then they had us do a mandatory roll to roll the track, where they got all of us out there and had us all rolling our go-karts in the mud just slinging everywhere. Malou was getting clumps of mud from out here in the nose about this big. Mud all over the tires, mud all over me. It was kind of funny being behind people watching all the mud sling all over the place. I do think that it may have burnt my clutch up a little bit, because you're getting bogged down in mud and I'm hitting the gas to try and get going, and I think it did burn the clutch up a little bit. We'll talk a little bit more about that later on. So just real tough conditions for the track and for their crew to get everything in shape. They finally did start getting it worked in, talk with us, the drivers, and see what we wanted to do about the race. But so basically the track was just in really bad conditions, track conditions I hadn't seen before. But really threw us for a loop, kind of threw us off our plan a little bit, and we were working, adapt, and overcome. We had one round of practice, and in that practice I was basically just trying to get all that mud and everything knocked off the go-kart. Go-kart was so out of shape, it was breaking loose in the center of the corner, then plowing. Now it was even loose on the straightaways in practice. Then when it came to qualifying for Clone Medium, I qualified 5th out of 5. And Clone Heavy, I qualified 5th out of 6. So highlight of that is I didn't qualify in last place in both these races. When I looked at the lap times, my speed was way off of the pole. But then when I started looking at the other 4 karts, I actually really wasn't that far off from the kart in front of me, and same with Clone Heavy, the kart in front of me. I really was not as far off as I thought. So looking at that, I was kind of encouraged at the direction that we were going in with the adjustments we were trying to make with the kart and with the tires. So something positive to take out of that. We did make some other adjustments of what we were trying to do with the tires when it came race time. With our tire prep, but when it came race time for Clone Medium, the karts, this is where I think I may have burnt the clutch up. The karts they'd take off. Well, on the first restart, on the first turn, I turned the wheel and the kart just went straight. So it was just getting some of that, getting the tires heated up, I think was the problem with that. But once I got some heat in the tires, I got the tires kind of cleaned off and up to temperature. On another restart, they just pulled away, and I tried to stay with them, but the kart was just so out of shape. Spun it out a couple times, and then finally I was like, okay, well I'm just going to be in everybody's way. So after a couple times of spinning out, I decided to go ahead and just pull off the track. And so for Cologne Medium, we ended up finishing 5th out of 5. Came back in, kept working on the kart, kept working on the tires, trying to get it a little bit better. And then when Cologne Heavy started, I kind of had an idea of what to expect. And when the race started, I was actually able to keep pace with one or two of the other karts. They looked like they were in just about as bad shape as I was in. But I felt like I was keeping up with enough. I felt like, man, I'm going to be able to race them a little bit and stay with them. But then same thing, kind of kept spinning out. And after the race, I really kind of felt like I need to own as the driver our poor finishes. Oh well, yeah, Cologne Heavy finished 6 out of 6. Another crazy thing about that race is one of the things that was bothering me is these aren't the glasses I wear at the track. I wear my military glasses, got a little bit thicker frame, and I had been sweating so much that the glasses were loose on my nose, and I think they came down a little bit, and they were bouncing and moving around. And I also got to give credit to my wife, Baloo. She did one of the issues we had the previous week was I couldn't see in Cologne Heavy because my visor fogged up. This week she did a really great job of making sure that my glasses weren't fogging up, my visor wasn't fogging up, so that was not the issue. I mean, there was moisture getting on the inside of the visor from me sweating, and the track's in really bad shape, bouncing around. I'm like, man, my visor's not fogging up. How come I still can't see? And then I realized it was because my glasses bouncing around, getting the frames getting my field of vision, and the track, the groove was so narrow that where if I got out of the groove just a little bit, I went around. So that's pretty much what happened when it came to Cologne Heavy. So kind of embarrassing. Well, I'll just say it's plain embarrassing. My glasses again were the reason why I fell out of the race. So after a couple times spinning out, I went ahead and pulled off the track and finished that race 6 out of 6. But then when I went and looked at some of the lap times, in reality, I was like my fastest lap was about 6/10 off the speed of the race winner in both races. All things considered, that really wasn't too bad. So that's probably the biggest takeaway is the fact that we were able to adapt and overcome these race conditions and still show some speed. We just still got some other big kinks we got to work out of the system with the tires. I'm going to do something different about, well, this weekend shouldn't be as hot, shouldn't be as sweaty and humid, so maybe the glasses and fogging up won't be as big of an issue. So, but we'll talk about that in the upcoming video for next weekend. So, with that being said, that's what we have for this weekend. Again, I want to thank my wife Malou for coming out and helping out. She was a very big help. She had her hands full cleaning tires and watching the 2 kids, but still she was able to notice a few other things and some pointers. And one big suggestion she had it last week, and I think I'm going to go with it this week. She recommended I get contact lenses. I have a phobia about putting things in my eyes. I really don't want contact lenses, but I think I'm going to suck it up, take her advice, and in the near future talk to the ophthalmologist about getting some contact lenses, so we eliminate that factor, that variable out of our equation. Again, I want to thank our sponsors, Kristin Murphy with Mission Realty, brokered by EXP, and Tibby Gyms for their continued support. Anybody want to come out and give us a hand at the track? We are looking for some additional help. You'll learn some things. You get your hands dirty. Don't wear any clothes you don't want to get dirty, but you will have fun because we are having fun out there. If anybody wants to get a little bit more exposure, we're also looking for additional sponsorship, and be more than happy to get you some exposure on these videos and at the track. So that's all we got for tonight. Thanks for watching this video. Please make sure you comment, rate, share, subscribe, all of the above. And yeah, we'll see you guys in a few days for our pre-race video for, looks like it's going to be Margaret'sville coming up this weekend. Until then, take it easy.